score. Here, if you really want to smash something, this should do the trick. I asked you to leave me alone. Are you kidding me? I know you're the school princess and all, with the DA daddy and the perfect grades and all the perfect little Victoria chases kissing your perfect ass, but seriously? Fuck you. Great. I'm leaving. See you around, Chloe. You can't leave! Watch me. Rachel, wait! Don't go. Why not? Because I don't want to ruin this the way I ruin everything else in my life. And what is this exactly?
Your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine, because I don't have a freaking clue. I know why I'm not going to spend too long on this, because I don't want to make it sound like I disregard anything. I've always said people are afraid of Shippo, that stands true. The problem I have with this is that what on goodness knows earth has happened to ever instigate that, you know, something more could have happened. I don't really see why something more makes any logical sense, given they've only met, what, hours ago, and nothing has. I mean, the only probably thing is that Chloe has been nervous about talking to her, but that doesn't necessarily mean would anything really have developed right at this moment? No, this is way too fast. See, I originally thought about this in a more logical sense, trying to keep Pricefield out of it, because, like, I didn't want to be influenced by that. And it wasn't really. My thinking stance here will always be the fact that this is way too soon to be asking the AmberPrice question. Way too quickly. This is episode 1. They've met for barely a couple hours, and already something like this has come up. I don't get it. I know that, you know, Deck 9 only had 3 episodes in this game, but this question makes absolutely no sense right now. This decision makes absolutely no sense in a logical way of thinking. This should have come up much later. That was my thing, and I picked friendship because it makes no sense to pick something more now. But I haven't picked anything other than that in my other playthroughs of this game, so I'm going to see what something more actually turns into, because I'm actually curious about it. And of course this is a video game, so you can't really say, you know, there's no logical thinking in a video game. But I don't know how this has just come out of complete nowhere. I was totally expecting this. I'll be honest with you. I was totally expecting this to come out, but not this soon. It's way too soon to make any logical sense, but at the same time, Deck 9 only had a schedule, but at the same time, again, couldn't they have fitted it in somewhere else? Why ask it now? There's no weight to it, you know? And the reason why you can't disregard it is because of the circumstance. Like, the reason why you can't involve your feelings for Pricefield in this instance like I could. And I didn't do it in the first playthrough, and I'm not going to do it now. The reason why you can't is because of the circumstances surrounding the two. Pricefield has the history. It has the knowledge of them as kids. It has their time as kids. It has Farewell. Yes, Farewell came out after this, but it still has that. And then it has what's happening during the first game, and then you combine it, you mix it all together, and it all kind of makes sense. This comes out of nowhere. There's no history. They've barely met for a couple hours, and already we have the AmberPrice question. That's not good by Deck 9. Deck 9 literally put this in because they had to. And I don't mind them putting it in, and I totally would have gone for something more, but this is way too quick. And that's a shame, because that means that AmberPrice doesn't even get like its own time to develop or its own history like Pricefield did. And I feel sorry for the people that do ship these two, because they're sold short, whereas Pricefield had the build-up, it had the history, it had the build-up, and it culminated at the end of the game. They literally had to put this in now, and then they literally had to rush through it for the end of the game, and you don't get that development, you don't get that history, you don't get the development, and you literally have to answer this question now. Because if you pick Friendship, that's it. You don't get a chance at it developing, it doesn't develop any further from there. So I feel really sorry for the people that ship these two and never got the story that Pricefield did. I really do feel for those people. I don't disregard it. I totally get it. You know, Max isn't here, and you know, Chloe has literally been starstruck by the fact that Rachel Amber is even hanging out with her. So I totally get what this is, but damn, did they really have to throw it in this quickly? Deck 9 really didn't. I guess in a way, here's what the synopsis of this is, because I don't want to talk for too much longer. Here's what the synopsis is of this whole thing. The real objective of Before the Storm was to bring Rachel Amber the person into the series, to give you what Rachel Amber looks like, what her personality is, what her person is. But the AmberPrice thing started back in the first game, when, you know, certain scenarios could say that, you know, something was going on there. So the reason Deck 9 had to do it this way was because they had to put it in. They have to put AmberPrice in because they have to. Because it's conjunction with it's conjunction with the first game. You know, but putting it in this soon was just a no-go. There's no development, there's nothing that says it, you know what I mean? And I just feel so sorry for those people. I don't disregard the ship, and like I said, people are free to ship who they want. But it's just like, Deck 9 just sold you short, and I feel sorry for you. Because Pricefield got the chance to develop over 5 episodes, this game only had 3, and now we get this. We get this. This is a total mess. This is an absolute mess by Deck 9. They put this, I totally get that they put it in. They were going to at some point. I was totally expecting this question to come in, but not this quickly. That's what caught me off guard, and that's why I picked Friendship to begin with. But now, this is only my second, third time playing the game, and I'm ultra curious to see how something more will actually work. So I'm doing this out of curiosity, but in a logical sense, there's nothing here that kind of says that to me. Maybe apart from Chloe's nervousness and the fact she's been starstruck by Rachel Amber, which makes sense, but would Chloe, after what she went through with Max and losing kind of the semi-love for her life, even though she didn't really know it at the time, would Chloe really want to reach that point with anybody again? I mean, this goes against... I understand why they put this in, but it just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense to me why they would do this. I want to keep the game moving. I don't want to talk too much, but... Are you actually going to make
me say it?
I don't know. I don't think...
You know,
I just...
like a friendship.
I took Pricefield out of it, and it still doesn't make sense. Because it's just...
Weird, right?
It doesn't make sense. I mean...
Today was the best day I've had
I get that.
since my dad died.
I do get that,
And
but
when I almost ruined it just now, the way I ruin everything, it made me realize whatever's going on between us is special.
how? Why? You've only met her for 2 hours. I know it's Rachel
on.
Amber, so
Say
maybe the
something.
fact that it's Rachel Amber accelerated it. Maybe.
You know
I
what?
could kind of get that,
Forget it.
but I don't know.
This was really stupid. I mean,
I don't
you're
know.
Rachel Amber.
You could take
and
Pricefield out of it and
I'm
it still wouldn't make any sense.
Chloe Price.
I-
It's not that.
I just...
It's just hard right now. And I can't talk about it. Why not? Because I can't. I know it isn't fair, but it's how it is.
I know why Deck 9 would do it, but this quickly just makes no sense, and they literally had to rush it.
Goodbye.
They
Chloe.
should have put this question up in episode 2, because episode 2 has a bit more development to it, and it has things that start to make sense as to why Chloe would do that. There is a scene in the second episode that would make Chloe think, yeah, that's the right time to probably start feeling that way. But at the end of the day, would Chloe want to even go through that again? You know, Chloe's at the stage of her life where Max has left, and she literally says it in the journal. She says,
Fuck.
you know,
Yes.
life lesson learned, I'll never trust anyone again. So how could she feel so strongly about Rachel only after a couple hours being her life like that at the moment? It just... I don't know. Deck 9 really kind of messed up on that one because, like I said, my sympathy is with the people that shipped the two of them since the first game, but you're literally going to have no development at this point. The second episode would have been a much better place to place that question. It would have been just a much better place. The way they did it was right, but the placing and the scenario was wrong. And like I said, I totally expected this to come up. You know? I totally expected it, and I would have been fine with it, but back then I just thought, it caught me off guard. It really did. And it just doesn't add up. Even in a normal situation, right? In a normal situation, feelings like that don't develop that quickly. I mean, get to know someone first, you know what I mean? I don't know. I didn't want to make Pricefield like the reason for that because I knew that choice was coming. I knew it was going to be there, so it's not that I disregard it. But when you really, really think about it, Chloe, like I said, is at the stage of her life where she wouldn't trust anyone like that ever again because of what she feels Max did to her. So, why did Deck 9 write it like that? I think we can knock on that and then knock the paint over it. Gives us the graffiti option. Have we got them all or have we missed one? No, we missed one. Fuck. Shit, which one is that? Oh no, it's the car at the end. That's what it is. I know which one it is. I get why Deck 9 would want to do that because obviously they're on a tight like time scale with only 3 episodes as opposed to 5, but that really just sells the whole thing short and doesn't give AmberPrice its thing, you know. And I just feel sorry for those people. I really do, because they were sold incredibly short while Pricefield had its development. I would understand if people were mad about that.
You know she's fake. You can't take your eyes off her. Who else do I know who fits that description?
My sympathy's with you.
Fuck off, Rachel.
I understand it, but I don't get why it was written like this. It should have been better, you know? And like I said, what I originally thought... Wait a minute.
I've never understood your hard-on for cameras, Max. You took 1,000,000 pictures of us, and not one of them showed that you were gonna leave when I needed you most.
Because she didn't actually plan on doing that.
Fuck cameras.
But it's quite interesting how she says fuck cameras, but not. She doesn't mention Max in that. But Rachel and David get the brunt of it, but Max doesn't. That tells you a lot. Yeah, I mean, what I originally thought was if I pick friendship now and then I can actually have something later if there's something that gives it some oomph, you know what I mean? If that's the way it'll work, then it's fine, but you don't get another option after this. That's the one time you've got to answer the AmberPrice question at that very moment, at a time where it makes no sense for that to be happening. Deck 9 really kind of messed up on that one. They really kind of messed up on that one because they sold those people a little bit short. And I don't disregard it, you know. I get it. I get it that Max isn't here anymore and William's death has hit her hard and she's looking for just some form of light in her life. Sees it in the fact that Rachel Amber is even hanging out with her is like the big thing. And maybe that's it. Like I said, maybe the fact that it's Rachel Amber and Rachel Amber literally walks into a room and captivates you, and maybe that accelerated it. That's the only logical thing I could see that would make any sense. And if that's the case, then I see that. But even then, it just it feels like it feels rushed. It does, and I don't really think that's fair too much. But I don't think AmberPrice was the objective for Deck 9. I think the true objective of Deck 9 was to bring Rachel Amber into the series, and AmberPrice was kind of like a thing they had to put together somewhere because it went with what the first game was talking about. See, the first game, when it talks about it, you would understand it. And you would think, gee, it's had so much development and so much time, you can understand after so many time and after what Rachel did for her. It would make sense, but here they've cut that dramatically short and made it after 2 hours. And I don't know. I don't understand that. I was totally expecting it to happen, but it was the quickness of it that caught me off guard. I'm assuming that's William's car. I feel sorry for you guys, I really do. Because you're sold short because of the time frame of the game, you know. And like I said, I don't disregard it. I get what it is, but I think if there's any logical thing that makes sense to that, it's the fact that it's Rachel Amber. The very fact that it's Rachel Amber in front of you, talking to you. So if that is it, then I guess I get it. But even still, it doesn't seem to work.
Why are you crying, sweetheart?
In a logical sense, but I guess the thing is, it's a video game. There is that as well.
Because you're not real.
I'm not.
What is going on?
Yeah, William is a strange one in this game.
What's past is prologue and shit.
Kiddo, look on the bright side, would ya?
What bright side?
Yeah, William is a strange one
You
in this
made
game.
a new friend today.
I hope that wasn't too long. I know I talked for like 15 minutes in my original run of this. I tried to shorten it.
Wait.
Oops.
What's my line?
I'm very curious to see how that will turn out because I don't think I've ever seen it. because no one I watched did a playthrough on YouTube, so I don't.
I guess I did
and
that.
I think most of
Gotta say,
what
that
I
was
did
some
watch,
fight. A lover's
no
quarrel,
one
you
really
might say?
picked it.
She nearly took your head off.
Lovers call her out of fucking nowhere, William. It's a bit quick, isn't it? I'll never
What do you care?
get it.
Sorry, sweetheart. I guess I'm getting into your personal business.
Yeah, well, that's kind of your job as your dad, to be fair. There it is.
I don't feel drunk.
Sometimes people need you, though.
Am I screwing up? No, wait a minute. I got to reload because I need to get the pen out. What is the Well, shit. I wish I didn't fucking see that. Oh, Lord. That's harsh. So Max is this, don't worry, I'm gonna see you real soon when you're dead. Oh, that's a neat trick. Max is actually, the text is in reverse. So when you're dead, I'm going to see you real soon, and that's a reference to the first game. Smart. Heartbreaking, but smart. And that's just like, no. Go away.
Kiddo.
That's your job as her dad. Well, not your job, but it's kind of a natural thing to do as her father. I mean...
Dad used to hate it when I wrote on shit.
Okay.
Sleep is for the weak. I guess I did that.
Sometimes people need you, though.
And William was just like a really strange thing in this game. He was really strange.
Even when they don't admit it.
Yeah, Chloe would know all about that. See, what I initially thought when I saw this was... It was kind of like... I thought the trailer was kind of like a trick. And I saw the two hands.
Mitchell!
And I thought what was happening was they were blocking out who was on the other side with Chloe's face. And I thought it was going to be Max's face as she drove away on the day she left. That's initially what I thought. I thought it was like a reflection of Chloe looking through the window as Max sits in the car just as she's leaving. That's what I thought that really was. Kind of wish it was, but I understand why it wasn't. See, the thing is, Max is only really highly referenced in this one. I think after this one, it's a lot less. I think she mentions her like once or twice. But that's another reason why I don't really get the hate for Max, because the only real constant thing that references Max is what Chloe's writing in the journal. You know, the story doesn't really make her the centerpiece. Max is nothing more than a cameo in this. And still people really just have their changed opinion about her. But like I said, there's nothing really to support any dislike that people have for her now. This is Details, they are important, as a Sins video would say. The quickness of it is just really strange. It should have been placed later.
You came.
To give it more,
I'm glad.
like, emotional power. You know? Because it's just way too soon to be... I knew the question was coming, but the quickness of it was, like, completely off guard. Like...
Hey. I couldn't let the day end with whatever this afternoon was.
Chloe, I want to talk to you about something, but I don't know how to talk about this.
You don't have to tell me anything you don't want to.
You remember that guy that we saw under this tree with that woman?
The ones who were making out?
That was my dad.
Oh. All right.
And that woman was definitely not my mom.
Oh.
The worst part is... I'm not surprised. I felt like my dad's been lying about something for a while.
Oh, he wasn't lying, but boy is he preparing the bombshell of your life.
A text from an unknown number.
I'll leave it at that for now.
I thought I could catch him or something.
So literally, in a way, right? So here's the thing as well. All Chloe was a witness. That's the long and short of it as well. All Rachel did it for was to have a witness when she finally catches her dad out. At least that's how it started anyway. Huh. So all Rachel really wanted was a witness to catch her dad at it. At the end of the day, or at least that's how it started anyway. But how she knew a lot about her is kind of
So sorry, Rachel.
a puzzling thing, but this is Rachel Amber. You know, she's not stupid.
I don't know what to say.
Neither do I. Chloe, I love my dad. I love him. And I never want to see his fucking face again.
When my dad died, I was so mad at him. For months, I felt wrong because half the time I thought of him, I wanted to scream. And the other half, I forgot.
Forgot that anything had changed.
Yeah. I don't understand hating him,
It's
but I get
silly,
the rest of it.
But I've carried this photo around with me for years. It's from Mount Hood. My dad took me hiking there when I was 10, and it started raining, and I fell and broke my arm 3 miles from the
Anzia?
car. I remember screaming like I was gonna die, but my dad, he carried me down the mountain. I still remember the smell of his coat, and how calm he was, and the sound of his voice, and he was just so strong, you know? I felt safe.
You trusted him.
Completely.
Here.
Chloe, I owe you an apology.
Hey, we were both kind of the queen of shitty.
No, I mean it. Meeting you, this friendship, it means more to me than you could possibly imagine. And you said you have feelings for me. And it caught me off guard is all.
You're not the only one, love.
I could have handled it better. I'm sorry.
Notice that she's not reciprocating it
Hey, no.
right now. And then
It's
maybe that's
okay.
just because she's confused, but that's...
Whatever this is, we're going to figure it out together. Right?
That's interesting. Because she's not exactly
just want you to
reciprocating
know
it.
I'm lucky.
But I think it's because
that
she's
you were
off
with me
guard for
today.
now. She's probably gonna try and see if she can figure it
You're
out.
a badass, Chloe.
Which
Price.
makes sense.
What?
I
Remember that
understand that.
biker asshole who wouldn't let you into the mill? You talked your way right past him.
You saw that?
And those skeevy douchebags who followed you upstairs? 2 against 1. But you wouldn't take any shit from them.
I'd be dead if you hadn't thrown that bottle.
You inspired me.
Normally it's the other way
What
around.
about
It's
Drew?
Rachel inspiring others.
When he was picking on
So
Nathan,
that's definitely a new one.
you got right in his face and called him out.
That was pretty sweet, actually.
See? You're the real thing, Chloe. I don't know anyone like you. Plus, you came along with me, no questions asked.
Well, I don't really need a good reason to ditch school.
See? I guess that kind of all
there'll be
makes
hell
sense.
pay.
My mom might skip grounding and just go straight to the death penalty.
And my dad will definitely punish me with...
I'm so sorry, Rachel.
Fuck him.
What I wouldn't give to leave this place and never look back.
What's stopping us?
Us? Are you serious?
There's nothing keeping me here. Not anymore.
Convenient,
So,
because
if
there's
I
nothing
came to
really
you
keeping Chloe
tomorrow
here either.
and told you to pack your bags.
I'm serious. Let's do it, Chloe. Let's leave this place forever.
They never do. Spoilers. And not even because of the plot line in season, like the first game. Sorry, I keep calling it season 1. Damn it. And it's nothing to even do. That's not really much to do with the plot line in the first game either. Because even at the end of this plot, they still don't leave.
Can I borrow your lighter?
See, although with Rachel, when you play the first game, really doesn't make sense. It's like, how did the situation with this happen? Like, when did that happen? It's quite a shame that Deck 9 at this point was very limited with what they could do, because this didn't answer a lot of the questions we had. Really, I think Don't Nod did most of it for us. I think most of the stuff that involves Rachel in the plotline of the first game was confirmed by them. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's why this game didn't really answer any questions, because it was already answered. Don't Nod really kind of confirmed it, I think. I could be wrong, but yeah. The whole objective of Before the Storm was to bring Rachel Amber, the person, into the series at the end of the day. And that's why the AmberPrice thing feels so thrown together, because they had to do that, because it was in conjunction with what the first game told us. But sadly, like I said, it sells it short, because that's not the real objective, but they have to put it there, and that seems kind of unfair in a way. And that's like I said, like, my sympathies with you people that heavily ship them, and it's like you don't get the same kind of story that Pricefield shippers got. So I actually feel for you on that one, because you were sold short. I mean, it's probably the shipping war being invoked by the writers. It's kind of like what Ruby sort of did for a while with Black Sun and Bumblebee. You know, they kind of deliberately, bit of it, you know, invoked a shipping war for a bit, and then went with the confirmed thing in the end, I guess. So maybe sadly, that might be what AmberPrice is. Maybe it's another Black Sun, where it's like they have to envisage some shipping war to, I don't know, do that, and then the real stuff comes out at the end of the first game. That'd be kind of cruel, to be honest. Because a lot of stuff at the beginning of the game, actually, like the first maybe 2-3 episodes of the first game, actually tell a bit of a different story. But I stay away from that. You know, I have my end of things, but I don't go seeking arguments and wars with other people, because that's just not cool. I'm talking like a complete dork. So yeah, we're almost at 4 freaking hours and we just finished this episode. They are ridiculously long. Probably a bit too long, now that I think about it. I mean, there was the only time I really sat and talked was that whole question, and it was still almost 4 hours. So these kind of episodes are ridiculously long, but at the same time it makes sense, because, you know, they had to be, because it was only 3 episodes. I think it should have been longer. And it should have been longer for 2 reasons. Number 1, they're not so long and drawn out. And number 2 is to give the AmberPrice ship its own development. They put it in the wrong place, dude. It just doesn't give its connection too much. Episode 2 kind of gives you that. And then episode 3 completely abandons. That's the thing, though. That's the thing. Episode 3 completely abandons it. Completely abandons it and focuses on the big bombshell at the end of the second episode. And that's the story taking prominence over anything else. And like I said, the real objective was to show us Rachel Amber in the Life is Strange series. That was the real objective of this game all along. And they had to throw things like AmberPrice in, because that was in conjunction of what we knew from the first game. So, you know, and it's not, I don't know. That's what it just feels to me. It feels like it was just shoehorned in, and you know, that's not cool. That's a disservice, you know, because I mean, yes, we know. See, what's the point of the question in the first place? Because we know from the first game that Chloe eventually does feel that way in the end. So what's the point of the question in the first place? Because we know it happens. There's no reason for the question to exist. There is absolutely no reason for AmberPrice question to exist, because we know it happens. Did they just put it in to say, oh look, here's how it actually worked, but by the way, we're going to give you a impossible sounding scenario of 2 hours, and apparently Chloe's falling for her already. But like I said, you have to think of how Chloe is thinking right now. Chloe is thinking right now that she doesn't trust anybody. But like I said, maybe it's the fact that it's Rachel, and maybe that accelerates it a little bit. But really, Rachel, mostly what she wanted was a witness to her father and catching him out, sorry. I don't know. I mean, there's still the things that happened in the first game that kind of, I don't know. This whole thing just seems more confusing now. Before the Storm wasn't absolutely necessary at the end of the day. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed having the game and going back to the place I loved with the characters I loved, or at least most of them, all of them almost, except Max and probably Kate. But was it really necessary in the grand scheme of it? Not really. I mean, you get the big bombshell at season 2, but episode 2 rather, but that really becomes inconsequential in the end. You know, it's just an extra bit of knowledge that probably wasn't necessarily needed to be there. Before the Storm just raises more questions, really, and it's just stuff that we didn't necessarily need. But then again, they had to make this story to achieve their objective of bringing Rachel Amber in the game. And like I said, they passed that objective with flying colours. Rachel is born into the game and she's done really, really well. But in the grand story, and what the stories actually, the side stories like AmberPrice and all that, was it really needed? The whole AmberPrice thing isn't even needed in this game because we know it happens anyway. But that's why I said, that is the one time you get to influence that. You don't get an option in Season 2, and that's what I initially thought. That's why I picked Friendship at first, because number one, it was the most logical thing to say at the time, and number two, I was kind of hoping that Episode 2 or 3 would kind of give it more staying power because they've spent more time together. So it would probably make a bit more sense, but you don't get that. You don't get that. But having said all of that, Episode 1 of Before the Storm was, in a big way, a great introduction back into the Life is Strange universe. Despite the questions this series, like this whole story, raised at times, Episode 1 was a great introduction back into the series. But therein lies another thing. That whole thing with Rachel and the screaming and the wind and all that. You kind of get the feeling that maybe she was this spiritual link in the first game that caused the first game to happen, but it's never explored after that. Like, never explored. So there goes those theories out of the window. There's just so much like mind-boggling stuff going on that really just confused me. This prequel confused me in the more grander scheme of the storyline, and maybe that's why. I mean, Don't Nod confirmed way before this game was even being developed that, you know, there was going to be a Life is Strange 2 and it was going to feature different characters in different locales. So, you know, it's not like Don't Nod saw what Deck 9 were doing and decided like, oh no, because they're going to do this, this and this, we're going to actually move away from this storyline and curate another one. You know, that was nothing to do with it. Anyway, sorry about that. I did say at the beginning of Farewell, you know, disclaimer, I will talk. I will probably not be this invested into a lot of other playthroughs we will be doing on Project PC. Probably the closest will be Walking Dead, but that's only because we've got 3 seasons in the Project PC to cover, and then we've got eventually Season 4, the final season. That I will do it sometime afterwards. So that's probably the most invested I will be aside from this. I just hope I didn't come across as like, you know. I know Procer is my OTP and everything, but I hope I didn't like come across as like that's the only thing I care about and I disregard everything else, because I don't. That's not what I wanted to do. I just hope I didn't. And if I did, I apologize, because that's not what I wanted to do. But like I said, if you could take Pricefield completely out of that equation and still, it makes no sense why Deck 9 put it in that soon. Well, it makes sense why they put it in that soon, but the thing is, it happens anyway. She falls for Rachel anyway. You know? It doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter what you do. Because even if you pick friendship, she will eventually fall for Rachel over time anyway. And then it will become more from there anyway. So it makes that choice is utterly pointless. It really is. It really is utterly pointless. But at the end of the day, like I said, the objective was to bring Rachel Amber into the series with all the stuff that came with with her from the first game, like AmberPrice and her captivating character trait and all that. All that had to come with it. But I think the character trait was handled better than the shipping. So 64 people attacked, so more people attacked than ran. More people were mean to Joyce. 86% defended Nathan. I think a lot of people probably defended Nathan after really finding out more about him at the end of the first game. But look at that. Clear discrepancy. 74-26 telling Rachel we're more than friends. Literally they went with the canon on that one. But of course more people did that. I mean, of course. We didn't take the money, didn't purchase Proper Frank, read Joyce's health book. I don't think reading Joyce's health book even does anything. Could the photo of William on the dresser? No, because I think she even puts it back if I remember rightly. Somebody's Joyce's purse. I mean, I didn't even know that was a thing. Told that he wouldn't go to play with him. 75% did. That's kind of weird. Skip listening to his demo. Finish tabletop games. Sometimes returns homework. So would you believe in love? Because I think Chloe kind of does, even without even knowing it. 2% didn't share earbuds with Rachel. Why? And 6% didn't jump off the train. That's weird discrepancy. Those last two choices are just like completely to one side, please. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing with telling Rachel they were more than friends doesn't surprise me. Like more people would. I'm going with it really out of curiosity to see how that actually works.
I want my fucking money.
Because I went with everything I did. I actually played this a second time afterwards. I think it might have been, as you may have noticed, I played the PC version already, and I got all the achievements already, but I didn't change my stance on it. At least I don't think I did. I don't remember. It was so long ago that I did that. So, anyway, almost 4 fucking hours, dude. This is probably going to be the longest project in like the whole game and the entire project. I mean, probably not. I mean, most of it's gonna be like 5 episodes from now on, but as in terms of singular episode length, these are gonna be no doubt be the longest. And it's like they tried to cram so much into 3 episodes, which they didn't do badly, I don't think. But like I said, the objective was to just bring Rachel into the game, which they did pretty well. Aside from maybe a couple of things, but you know, they had to, like I said with AmberPrice, they had to put that in. And apart from that, wasn't handled right. It was always going to be there, and that's fine. But the way they handled it is really kind of weird, more than anything else. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now, and we'll move on to episode 2 soon. So I hope we see you guys there as usual. I hope you're enjoying Project PC so far. It's pretty awesome that I'm actually playing games on this thing, so that's cool. I'm actually able to do that. It's actually making me happy that I'm actually able to play like a PC gamer too. But that's because it's not a shooter and I'm not having to kill people and just fail miserably. Yeah, I'm just really enjoying playing on PC for a change. I rarely ever have until now, so that's the whole thing with this project as well, is to play more PC games, and so far I've really enjoyed doing it, so yeah. Alright guys, so I will see you for episode 2, Brave New World in Life is Strange Before the Storm. I hope to see you guys there. You know what to do, guys. Subscribe, follow, all the good stuff, and I will see you next time on episode 2. Peace out, and as always, stay awesome.